And so today, since it's recorded, we're just going to go over a few ground rules, but we're first going to do introductions. So hey everyone, my name is Jacqueline Polk, and I'm the career advisor for the Liberal Arts and Sciences, School of Liberal Arts and Sciences, as well as the School of Human Services.
Hi, my name is Bailey. I'm recently hired for the School of Business and Education Career Advisor.
And hello, everyone. My name is Otto Lumsey Jr., and I serve as the Director of Career Services here at UNC Dallas. I have the privilege and honor of working with Bailey and Jackie, who are two awesome colleagues.
Awesome. And so as we go through everyone, I did put a message inside of the chat function so that you have the ability to ask questions. Since we're recording, I know that some of you may not want to speak while being recorded. So know that at the end, we're going to have a Q&A. So either write down questions or just feel confident to put the questions in the chat function and we will get to them, as well as make sure your mic is muted. Sometimes background noise can interfere with other people being able to hear. So we're going to make sure that our mics are muted if we're not speaking, just so everyone can hear clearly. And so then I'm going to pass it off to Miss Bailey.
Yeah, so today we're going to go over the importance of networking, especially during COVID-19. So we're going to go into how to start the conversations, resources we have, and things like that. Only meet more people. Okay. So we also have some other events coming up to kind of go along with the series. So we have Networking 101, which y'all are attending right now, which is super awesome. We have Make LinkedIn Work for You, which will be on June 3rd. Maximize Handshake, which will be on June 10th. And Building Your Network and Working on those follow-up skills on June 17th. And then Learning and Interviewing Skills Utilizing Technology, because that's probably where things are heading right now, on June 24th. So definitely tune in. It'll be very similar to the setup we have here. We'll post the Zoom link. Y'all can join in if you're available, and there will be different times, so make sure you look out for those. All right, so we're going to go over networking today, talking about how to utilize your friends, resources, going over how to start the conversation, and we'll let Jackie get started. Or this is Arthur, sorry.
Oh, no worries. So you're probably wondering, what is networking and why is it important? Think of networking as being two-sided. It's not just one-sided. Most people think, what can somebody do for you? In actuality, it's what you can do for somebody and what can they do for you. Mostly, 85% of positions are actually filled through networking. So yes, you probably think that job boards are the main way for applying to jobs, and definitely they are a way, but actually 85% of positions are filled through networking. So if you happen to know someone at an organization wanting to, or should I say, aspire to work at, it's best to leverage your network, your contacts, whether it's former students or friends of a friend. Also, 70% of people found a job through connections at a company. More often than not, we find that one of the secrets is that companies have referral programs, but most people do not know that, so that they can, sometimes people actually receive an added bonus by referring a colleague, because people like to hire people who have the same interests and values. So without further ado, we would like to play a short video that
but for tons of people, myself included, it's a skill that's acquired. Research shows that referrals are a top source of hires, meaning those personal relationships, they can really pay off. So we're revealing the secrets of networking and answering the question we've all asked at some point. Is who you know more important than what you know? For years, athletes have used science and data analysis to improve. Now, we are doing the same for job seekers everywhere. This is Job Science. When it comes to networking and social events, there is nothing wrong with going alone. Putting yourself in a position to talk to new people, it's actually a good thing. You never know who you'll meet, who they might know, or how they can contribute to finding your next job. Meet Jess, a retail sales associate. She's attending her first ever Fashion Career Expo. A cool way to break the ice in a group setting is by wearing something that pops. It makes for a good conversation starter.
Hey, I love your shoes. Thank you, I just got them. I'm Jess, Bria. Nice to meet you.
Be yourself. That is the most important thing here. There's no need to try to be someone else or someone you're not. If you're looking to start an authentic relationship, it's key to ask about the other person first.
So what brings you here? I'm actually a buyer. I'm a sales associate. Cool. So
Ah, the head tilt. This is the universal sign that says, I'm listening, purely through body language. And while you are listening, do so empathetically and with curiosity about the other person's career.
Ben.
Oh, just recognizes someone. That is what happens when you research your connections. This can help you focus your energy on talking to the right people.
I haven't seen you since we worked together. How are you?
I'm great. I'm actually managing another boutique not too far from here.
Once you've made a genuine connection, feel free to bring up the topic of jobs, even if it doesn't come up naturally in the conversation.
Hey, do you happen to need any sales associates or stylists even?
Let's pause here. The brain can actually detect confidence in another's voice. Jess, she's definitely feeling herself. Smooth.
I'm looking.
Oh, yeah, I'll pass along your info. You have any business cards?
Yeah.
It's always good to have your business card and resume on you, especially at these kinds of things, but only give them out when asked for.
Ria. This is Ria.
Nice. You know, once in a while, think of people you know who should know each other but don't, and then introduce them. Follow up to see if their meeting was worthwhile. This one's all about paying it forward. This was the breakdown of networking. Till next time.
So as we went through, you all kind of caught on like, again, we think of networking in many different ways, but the whole idea is leveraging connections. That's what you need to take away. How do I leverage connections? Just to recap, that means connecting others that you know should be connected. People remember people who connect them, okay? And also confidence. The more you're confident in where you want to go, what you want to do, it's going to be easier to network. So right now, if it's very difficult to network, then it maybe means set up some time with us. Let's talk about what those career aspirations are. Because the more you're clear on where you want to go, the easier it is for you to connect with others who may be there or maybe also striving to get there. So as we go through, and again, use the chat function. Please, if you have a question, you don't have to wait all the way to the end. Just type it in and we can answer it as we go. But some key effective steps to networking is the first one, do your research. Understand why and who you need to connect with. That is a big one. You don't need to connect with everybody at the same time, but you really need to understand who and why you're connecting with them.
That means be intentional.
The next step I would say is offer help. Connect with your connections, but also you want to listen and know where they're needing help at. Most networks, and when you're creating a network, I want you to think of like connecting each other. You're connecting when you're typically helping. So if you have a classmate who you know is really want to start their own business, then you can connect them with someone else who is also with that same interest in starting a business. That now makes your network more powerful because they're going to see you more and more connected. Okay, that one was good. So I have someone said as getting a degree in BAS, what is a great career path? Great question. I would say that this is the unique thing. You have the opportunity to create your career path. I want you to think of your values, your interests, and your skills. And this is where I want you to schedule some time with me or Bailey, and let's talk about what that looks like. But a BAS degree allows you the mobility to create what you want to see. So don't get kind of stuck, because sometimes you have 2 or 3 options, depending on which track you do, but we can talk about how to formalize that so that when you're networking, it's more intentional. So that's a really good question. Thank you for that. Fight your fear. A lot of times we fear maybe someone's not going to think I'm good enough. Maybe someone's not going to think I'm qualified enough. A lot of times you have to be confident in your interests and your skills. So make a note, your interests and your skills. Networking is not about you being the expert. You just have to be confident in what you're interested in and those skills that you bring. The next one is be patient and make time. Networks do not typically happen overnight. Now, there are cases out here where people are able to meet awesome people, they connect, and like things just blow up for them. And I believe those things can happen. But sometimes we have to be very very patient and just realize that it's going to take time, just like friendships take time, just like getting comfortable at an institution takes time. And you also have to make time. Most of us kind of get in the habit, I'm gonna come to school, I'm gonna go to work, I'm gonna come to school, I'm gonna go home. And so it's not a lot of time to actually network, actually sit and eat at the cafeteria, or actually be able to get involved on the different organizations on campus. So that is a part of networking, especially when you're a student. Leverage your involvement, leverage your professors, leverage your peers. Take time to say, you know what? I have 2 hours between when I have to go back to work or have other obligations. Let me at least take an hour to talk and connect with people, because that's what's going to help you make those valuable connections, especially when you're moving towards graduation. Number 5, focus on the relationship, not the resume. Okay? Message, put that on your refrigerator, put it in your back pocket. No one is wanting to just get to know your resume. They want to get to know you. They are actually, people are interested in knowing each other. They're not interested in knowing, oh, this is my professional resume. Like, are you bubbly? Are you the serious person? Do you have a cool dog? You know, are you a mom? Are you a dad? Do you volunteer? Those things matter because that shows that you're a human. So connection, I mean, it's hard right now, right? Because we're all behind these computers. But when you're thinking about making the relationship versus a resume, I really want you to take time to say, you know what? They want to know me. They want to know what I bring. And sometimes that's a little hard because, you know, let's be honest, we don't really like to meet strangers. But if we're honest, everyone was a stranger at one point. So you want to leverage that. All right. So number 6, use social networks and online resources. Now, I know that we're probably all adjusted to using online to the next level. Okay, I get it. And at some point, I run away from my computer and my phone because I feel like I'm on it all the time now. But at this moment, I want you to really see how you can leverage that. LinkedIn is a very good social network that you can leverage. Even your social media platforms you can leverage. As well as we have like a list on our site. So we have ONA, we have all these different resources. Optimal Resume, if you need to figure out how to do a resume so you can go to a networking event. Facebook has different groups that are literally networking events. If you're interested in business, if you're interested in like community. So there's so many ways for you to get online and get connected. Now it is uncomfortable, but everything's uncomfortable until you get a practice with it. And believe me, right now we're all wanting, like, I'm excited to see you all. I'm excited to be able to talk. I have missed being able to talk and pour in. So guess what? This is different for me, but I know that this is a part of networking because now I want you to put a face with a name. And so I know my colleagues may have their perspective too on how to use social networks and online resources. Awesome. So number 7 is follow-up. Now, most of the times, like right now, we're going to have a moment where we're like, oh my God, I feel encouraged, proud. I'm going to network with everyone. And do that, okay? Get on your LinkedIn, start adding people, whatever you need to do. But the follow-up is how you start the relationship. So if you talk to someone, make sure you follow up with an email or a text message. Or literally you just call them in a week and say, you know what? I just wanted to kind of check in. I was still looking at some of the resources you gave me. They were awesome. So those follow-ups is what helps people understand that you're, first of all, serious about connecting with them, but also lets them know that you're interested. Most of the time, people are serious. I need a job. I need a job. I'm gonna get a job. But then they're like, okay, you really just want me for a job, not necessarily get to know me. And so you want to help do that balance. Yes, it's about opportunities, but it's also about, hey, how's that project going you mentioned to me? So again, leveraging that so that people can really see who you are holistically.
Especially during these times for following up, you can even come off like, just like you care, like checking in on their family members, checking on how they're mentally doing. So just showing you care is another great like conversation starter for following up as well. Listen,
And so a big thing that we're all dealing with that none of us expected was COVID-19. Now, I don't know about y'all, but if I hear coronavirus or COVID-19, it's like, okay. But on our next slide, that is where I know a lot of times we're really stuck right now because I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of old school. I'll go up and talk to you. I like to say hi to people. I'm not kind of nervous to start those conversations, but online was more intimidating for me because I'm like, all right, whew, like how do you connect because I can't really read body language. Like technically you only can see me from like chest up. So I'm like, how do I connect? And so a lot of people then feel limited. And so during COVID-19, some of the ways I want you to start just seeing how you can leverage your networking is one, your circle of friends. So if you're enrolled in classes, everyone that was in your class, you should have added them on LinkedIn. These are the professionals that's going to be with you at jobs. These are the individuals that you can say, hey, I see you with this company. How do you like that company? So in your classrooms, add them, add them. Your college, so most of you are still students or some of you may have graduated. Regardless, add UNT Dallas on social media outlets. Add the involvement. Add us. Follow us. Get on LinkedIn. Look at everything because you're now leveraging because you can do that. You're a student or you were a student and you're like, you know what? I feel comfortable at UNT Dallas. Just like sometimes classes, depending because everything did go online. But some of those that you were talking in discussion posts, add them on LinkedIn. Sometimes people get nervous about former employers. Now, here's my disclaimer. If you're at a former employer, or maybe it wasn't the best working relationship, then I wouldn't encourage going back to a situation that probably didn't end on a positive note. But if basically you say, you know what, I'm coming back to school and I'm transitioning out of one career field and I'm going into another, don't be hesitant to reach back out to an employer to say, hey, you know, could you leverage a recommendation on my LinkedIn for me? Could you give me some pointers? Like, I loved your management style. What were some of your experiences? So again, if the relationship was positive, and I would say do it, but I would not say put yourself in a situation if the working relationship was not the best for you. Then professional affiliations. Now, this is a lot of this time. Most people are kind of half and half. Now, a lot of professional associations, I would say make a list of your top 5 ones that really are going to help you build knowledge and skills and network for where you want to go. Now, again, money is tight. I'm not saying go and put the money to start in organizations. I'm not saying, oh, if you don't get an organization, you won't get a job. But this is where you really get most of your network. This is where you're going to start meeting people at different levels in a company. Awesome. Good question. It is cheaper to join as a student. And some of them offer certifications as well as they offer different training resources that you can then leverage on your resume. I attended ABCD training. I was able to complete this certificate. And some of them are free and some of them are low cost. Just depends. Also on campus. We have a few professional affiliations on campus. So that means reaching out to our involvement center. Although we're on, during the pandemic, doesn't mean we're not about your experience. So still reach out. Even if you say, hey, I just want to know what professional groups you have. Leverage that. Also leverage your professors. A lot of your professors are going to be in professional associations. Oh, good question. So what I mean by professional associations. So I'm using an example. My background is counseling. So one professional organization that I choose to be a part of is Texas Counseling Association, as well as American Counseling Association. Now, these are big ones. Now, Texas is here in Texas. Just like with career, I'm a part of the National Career Development Association. So it's different associations that not only give me like insight, but it gives me real people that I can start seeing what they are doing. And on LinkedIn. So another note on LinkedIn, great job, SHRM. Perfect example. Thank you, Arthur. UNT Dallas has a SHRM chapter, which is connected to the overall Society for Human Resources. Getting on those sites is where you're going to start seeing, okay, what do I need to learn? What are some of my skills? What are my certifications? So that's what I mean, Jessica, when I'm saying those professional associations. Also, Greek Life is considered a professional association. Some of our clubs are like our honor societies. Those are professional associations. So we have a couple of them at campus. And if you don't see it at campus and you look and you say, man, this could be at our campus, literally connect with our student involvement, which is what I think it's, and let me know, Arthur, it's with Fifi in our office, as well as Jennifer Skinner. You connect with them. And Chase there, Chase Ragland. So you get connected with them, they will literally find out how they can get an association for you on the campus. Also, Chase works with our leadership department. So sometimes they have the National Society of Leadership and Service, and so society. And so guess what? These are things that's already here. So this is what I mean, because a lot of times we get to graduation and guess what? We don't have a lot of those networks. And then the last one is your family. All right, families, again, it's not, and I think sometimes we get stuck in a bubble. I'm first generation, so my family is all about the skills. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Jessica. Just gave a shout out. Okay. So it's all about the skills. So my skills pay the bills. My mom did a daycare, but my mom knows how to do paperwork to do a daycare. My dad literally can build a house from scratch and work on cars. So when I'm talking about, you know, what someone wanting to be more of an entrepreneur doing their own business, I can leverage those skills from my dad. My sister's a cosmetologist. So again, leveraging those skills. So don't hesitate just because your family may not be in the same professional bubble doesn't mean you can't leverage their networks as well.
You never know who they may know.
All right, so now we're going to kind of go over how to start the conversation. So some of you may have heard the term elevator pitch. So this is about you. So it's your little spill of what you tell people, being like, hi, my name is blank. I'm currently attending UNT Dallas studying blank. My experience is with this. The company, your reason this company sticks out to me is because of this. If it's my experience, kind of give a little about you, why you're interested in the company, and why you're interested in reaching out to them, learning more about what they do. So this can also lead into informational interviews. So this is like an informal conversation you have with someone, just like Jackie talked about earlier, seeing maybe you have the same history or background, like you might have had the same major or went to the same school, and maybe talk to them how they ended up where they did. What experiences do they recommend? What resources do they recommend? Connecting with other people, just getting to know what they do and why they love their job, maybe why they don't like their job, just so you learn more about the field and you feel more confident going into it. Also provide you with more resources and more connections. So yay for networking. So some example questions we have is right down here. It says, can you tell me a bit about your career path? Like what led you to this role today? What do you enjoy most about what you like, what the work you do, what most excites you? What skills do you think are most important for someone interested in a job like yours? And what are some earlier roles you had in this field?
Nice. Well, this brings us, we're getting close to the end. We wanted to make sure that you guys had our contact information. Of course, we're located in the second floor of the Student Center. However, you know, right now, pretty much we're unable to be there. So if you want to meet with us, you can reach out to us virtually. All of our appointments that you schedule with our career advisors will be through our platform called Handshake, and they can meet with you to discuss career exploration, job search, graduate school prep, how to create and craft a resume, cover letter, virtual interview tips, any and all things related to career development. We're going to be here for you. And not only that, we're here virtually and through our social media platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and even TikTok. I hope that all of you guys follow us on at least one of the platforms. Very engaging, thought-provoking, and some very helpful content. So if you're fall under the category, say for instance, if your major falls underneath liberal arts and sciences or human services, Ms. Jacqueline Polk will be your career advisor. And if your major falls underneath the School of Business or the School of Education, Ms. Bailey Bracken will be your career advisor. So we definitely hope that you take advantage and meet with our advisors ASAP. We're available, like I said, in the virtual community, whether via phone, email, or video, utilizing Zoom or Microsoft Teams. Also, I want to remind you too, as we're getting close to the end of our presentation today, that I am entering a survey in the comments section in the chat. And if you could, before the conclusion of our presentation, could you please fill it out? This is very important so that we can know how we can improve our services and offer helpful content in the future.
And so where we got some of this information today, if y'all want to go back and look at it or research more and look up more questions and things like that, here are some of the references you can go back and look for you. So I'm going to stop recording real quick so y'all can ask questions.